So I've just been at the coffee shop and I was thinking about this video today, and I think what I want to talk a little bit about is this camera that I've been using. So I've been doing this vlogging now for, I don't know, over a week, and I have been using my Fuji X70 for this. And before that, I mean, I've had this camera for a while. I actually first picked it up when I was going to Sweden in the winter because I wanted like a really small camera that was still like really good quality. However, I haven't really used it that much because when I do the other videos on Darbin Orvar, I tend to use the Canon ones, and they are like, we have a Canon 7D and a Canon 60D, and they are like the workhorses. I mean, they're big and clunky, and I know them very well how they work. I look at those as the work cameras. However, this one, I try to keep it in my bag all the time, but I didn't really have much of a reason to use it. So I really haven't used it that much. So I now when I've been doing these videos for a while, I was kind of thinking about like, well, what do I really think about it? Because there are some things that I really like about this camera, and then some things which I'm not a huge fan of. And I'm not going to compare other types of cameras in the same range. I'm just going to talk about this one specifically. So this camera, it has a set 18.5mm lens, a 2.8 lens. So it's pretty wide angle, as you can see, but it is, you can't remove it. We also have a Fuji X10, which we actually just upgraded to an X20, and Matt uses that camera a lot. And it's a really nice camera. However, I mean, the thing about it is that it has a removable lens. You know, you change lenses on it, which is awesome, but it makes it bigger and it makes it heavier. So I don't really like that from the idea of carrying it around with me all the time. I really like the smallness of this one. And the other thing I don't like about that one too is that it doesn't have the flip screen. So now I can look up, which of course is very frustrating if you are actually like watching it and then someone is looking at the screen. It's really frustrating. So I was trying not to look at it. I mean, you guys have seen this footage, seen these vlogs, and 90% of them have been shot with this camera, I would say. Like the quality sometimes is pretty good and sometimes it's not so good, and of course that has a lot to do with me because like with any camera, and sometimes if you want to get good results you have to put in the proper settings and everything. And I don't know, some of you may think that I am a settings person, like that I am really good at fiddling with stuff, but no. I hate fiddling with settings. I want it to like work as soon as I put it on, especially if I'm in the middle of something or I'm just doing, I just want to put the... I found that to be the case much more with doing these kind of off-the-cuff filming and vlogs and just doing it a lot more, that I hate fiddling with settings. So I mean, I've been doing a lot of just like, automatic settings and stuff, or trying to maybe have a variable ISO, and I realize that's not always a great idea. But I am not good with that. I mean, my ideal camera would have like where I didn't have to deal with any of that and it would be perfect every time. So from that point of view, I don't know if I can blame the camera always, or if I just should blame myself for like not dealing with things properly, because I'm not. This camera, however, what I really love about it, which is kind of superficial, but I love the look of it. It has such a retro kind of feel to it, the black and the silver, and I guess I am pretty superficial that way because I just feel good walking around with it. I put the leather strap on it, so I think it is like really, like, it looks really pretty. And I don't know if I should bother with that, but I think it matters, because it just looks really nice. Now, if you could think about more of the practical things though, the things that I really like about it is that it is so small. It has the ring on the lens so you can change the aperture. It just feels kind of retro, and it has kind of a good grip for that, which is kind of nice. Of course, I tend to keep it on pretty like 2.8 or something like that, especially if I want to get the blur, or just more light. But I think that little ring part looks like it has a really good feel, so that's kind of nice. And I think oftentimes those little things, like a good feel, and I think that's true for like all tools, it's the little things that make a big difference whether you like it or not. And that's oftentimes like why a better model of something may have like those little details which really make a big difference when you use it a lot. On the other hand, I feel like it's fiddly, this camera. I feel like I wish like turning on the video has this really annoying little red button that sometimes I don't know if I turn it on right, and it's really, you have to push really hard to get it to go down, and I hate that. Sometimes I realize it's been filming for like 10 minutes or like, you know, 5 minutes or whatever, because I didn't like shut it off right. And the buttons in general are kind of smallish, which of course goes with a smaller camera, but I don't love that at all. So I wish some of the buttons were just like a little bit bigger and chunkier. Now, the other thing which I don't love at all is the focus. So if I put it on continuous focus, it's supposed to kind of like continually focus on me, but I have found that it doesn't do a good job of that at all. Sometimes it just focuses really well initially, but then even if I sit like this, it will go out of focus, and then I look up and I realize, oh no, I've been talking for however long and I've been out of focus and I have to redo it, and that's really annoying. So now what I usually do is that I have it automatically focus on my face, and then like once I kind of know the distance, I just turn it to manual, so it won't like changed focus, because I don't think it's really good to pick up on that at all. It's not like the X20, that one has a really good automatic focus and it's really fast to pick up on it. This one's sluggish. I don't like that. And it's like funny because you really have to use a camera a lot to really get a good feel for how these kind of things, like what annoys you and what doesn't annoy you, and that little thing about it not focusing correctly, and then like me trying to walk around and trying to get it to focus and then switching it, and then I have to actually turn the camera around in order to like switch it because that little button is really small. So I don't love that at all. So overall, I guess I do like it. What do you guys think about the quality of this? I have a kind of a weird idea about that, because in some ways I don't think the quality matters massively in these kinds of vlogs, because that's kind of the whole point of it, that it is off the cuff. It is kind of like, if you think about it too much and bother with it too much, then it takes too much time and the moment gets lost, which is also why I'm horrible like dealing with the settings. I mean, this camera has some really nice filters inside of it, which I never use. And Matt's really great at all this fiddling and all the settings, and sometimes I just give it to him and I said, just set it up right for me so I can so it is what I want. And he like is great with that. And I just hate, I don't know. It's like I don't mind doing the settings if like I'm taking a roll of film or something and that's like the point. But when I really just want to do it fast, that's when I really hate fiddling with that. But there are some beautiful filters in this camera which I just don't really use. I mean, I use it kind of like for black and white, but there are like other ones which are, it's really cool, which I guess I really should get into. It's one of those things, you know, I always say to myself I should do that, but then I don't. So yeah, I think that's about it. And again, I want to really thank my patrons for supporting these videos. And all these videos on this channel, they're kind of like, I don't know, a little free thinking experiment to kind of get out of my head in a way. Because I feel like oftentimes there are so many things which I want to make videos about, but that just don't fit on my other channel. And to kind of, the idea of doing a lot of these, like every day more or less, is just like to really create a challenge and to push myself. And I really want to continue doing that, but in order for that to happen, I really need like Patreon support in order to justify the time and the energy going into these going forward. But of course I really enjoy doing them. And I think what I enjoy most of all is the fact that it is so freeing. Like, I have set this kind of thing in my head that I don't care really what the vlogs are about. I mean, I have thoughts, I have ideas for really like all over the place ideas, but I just want them to be interesting no matter what. So that's kind of the idea. But anyway, if you would like to support these efforts and encourage me to continue doing these, then please check out the link to my Patreon campaign in the description below. And otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any thoughts, leave comments below, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.